much for stopping by the channel. My name's Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Orange County. Y'all, I am too happy that the next episode is going to be the finale. This show been on since the last year, I really feel. No, I think it came on in like December. I'm tired. I'm tired of these ladies. So let's get into this review. The episode opens up where it left off, where, Noella and Heather were going back and forth about Noella saying that she heard that Heather, basically pushed somebody or pushed the cameraman on the first, was it the first episode? The episode where, I think it was either the first or second episode, where she got upset when they did the whole reveal about Nicole suing Terry about her botched booby surgery. So, in this conversation, here's my thing, y'all. This might be different. I think I'm going to be all over the place in this review, but I'm going to try my best to give y'all concise points. Noella going to be here next season. Noella is smart. She a scammer, but she a smart scammer because she's going after Heather, and we haven't had a good feud in a long time. So they're sitting here having this conversation, and basically Noella does the apology that everyone hates. If I offended you, if I hurt your feelings, when in actuality the person who's apologizing knows they hurt their feelings, knows they offended somebody. So what Noella so basically Noella was like, we got off on the wrong foot. I didn't want to hurt your family. I don't want to hurt your kids. I think your kids are wonderful. Then Noella's asks Heather, well, did you put your hands on somebody? And Heather's like, no. So then Heather basically tells Noella, she was like, my family trumps whatever you got going on. And if I feel like I have to protect my family, I'm going to protect them. And what you are doing is detrimental to my family. Which I think Heather has the right to defend, just in case, because we know how much Heather wants to protect the persona of Heather Dubrow, Terry Dubrow. The Dubrow name is something serious when it comes to Heather and Terry. I also think Noella made a misstep, because if you didn't see somebody physically assault someone, then you shouldn't be going around telling people, oh, Heather did this, this, and this. And then when the girls pressed you at the table, did you physically see her do these things? You were like, just because I didn't see it doesn't mean it did. So it was for you to have that much conviction, it doesn't make sense. You can't have that much conviction about something you did not see. And I think that's what is pissing Heather off. Is you're spreading these rumors. You're saying I'm this, I'm that. You tell them that I was a bitch, that I was sneaky, I was all of this stuff. And each time I've been cordial with you because I know about your situation, but there's a disconnect between them. So then Heather just gets really mad, and she was like, you know what, you are thirsty. And then Noella's rebuttal was like, I didn't even know you knew what thirsty meant. And I was like, girl, see, that's why people don't like you, Noella. So then they couldn't come to a resolution. They just decided, you know what, it is what it is. We're not gonna be it. So while all of that's happening, Emily, Shannon, and Gina are upstairs eating chicken salad or egg salad, and Shannon is drunk boots trying you need to try this. You need to try this chicken salad. Put it on a cracker. Put it on a cracker. And Gina was like, I'm just happy we not arguing. And I was like, true. So they just ended the night that way. There was no resolution. Heather was still pissed off. Noella still felt like she wasn't wrong for saying what she said. And the truth of the matter is, Noella is wrong. Noella is wrong. Mainly because it's you're going around telling people that Heather did something when she really didn't. You didn't see her physically do it. You didn't see her physically do it. Then Noella kind of made the conversation worse when she was like, well, I did follow you down the stairs and I saw, and that's when Heather deaded the conversation, was like, no more. But like I said, Noella is smart. Noella is smart because she's causing this issue with Heather. And in return, she's going to be here season 2. Because right now, if you look at the way things are set up, you have Heather, Jen, Emily and Gina on one side, and then Noella and Shannon on the other. So it's 4 against 2. So Shannon needs an ally, and Noella is good for TV because she's bringing in the energy and the ratings as of right now compared to the other women. So it's the next day after Heather and Noella had their beefage in the kitchen. So all the ladies except Noella are going to do archery. We have everybody just like rehashing what happened last night and wanting a better vibe. Heather has just feels like Noella is just a liar and she wants no parts, but she understands that the girl is going through something. We see Noella in bed, and I hate her phone case, y'all. I hate the whole making your phone case a pocketbook. I thought that was one of the stupidest ideas they ever made for like phone accessories. And it's not like, because there are cell phone pocketbooks, but you can put other things in them. But just to have like a strap around your phone, that's dumb to me. But Noella has that. And so she calls her friend, I think it was Kenny. We met her before. And she immediately breaks down. She's rehashing again what happened last night. And then she talks about Heather basically saying that it's all this karma. So we know before the night ended, when they had the argument at the table, Noella says to Heather, like, you know, your karma will come. And Heather's like, my life is good, and your karma is always giving you what you needed. So then Noella, while she's on the phone with Kenny, is telling Kenny that supposedly Heather said that her divorce was her karma, her child having autism was her karma, and her father's death was her karma. I thought that was putting 20 on 10 in a load of trash, because my thing is, yeah, it was a load of bull. It was 20 on 10, mainly because Noella basically told Heather what Heather told Noella. You just told this lady, Noella just told the lady, like, karma's gonna get you, karma's gonna show itself. And when she basically did a turn of the situation, she said, well, you, karma, I'm good over here, karma has already gotten you. Now, you may have interpreted that she was talking about your father's death, your child having autism, and your divorce. But the truth of the matter is, you can't just be throwing it out there that like something bad is going to happen to somebody when inadvertently a lot of shit happened to you, ma'am. Like a lot of, like the whole her kid having autism, that's not something horrible. I like one of my best friend's brother has autism and he lives a wonderful life, smart boy, everything. So that doesn't mean what like that. I don't think Heather was harping on that. I think, or her dad passing away. I think if Heather said karma was getting her, I think it was mainly like you going through a divorce. But because Heather did not say that, I don't think Noella can then go on this whole sob train about like her being low, because Noella has done some things that are like not that great. I did think it was funny that she said it was like high school games with Wrinkles and like all the women are afraid of Heather. I don't think the women, I don't think it's that they're afraid of Heather. I just think they see value in having a relationship with Heather. Like at the end of the day, Terry Dubrow or the Dubrow name holds weight in y'all city. Like if you hear Terry Dubrow, you know that's you. If you hear the Dubrow name, it's either Heather or Terry. So for someone like Gina and Emily and Jen, they're going to gravitate towards that because they have nowhere near the amount of wealth Heather has. The reason why Shannon and Heather kind of bump heads is because Shannon has that. So she knows what it is. Like, so she's not wowed or... yeah, she's not wowed by the opulence of Heather, whereas the other three ladies are. And neither is Noella, because Noella knows what that life is about too, because she's been a model since she was a kid, so she knows what it is. So, like I said, the ladies are going to do different things. So they do archery. It looked fun. I like fun Shannon. Shannon came in there with a fake bow and arrow with like a camo bandana. She was ready to get in the trenches with them. It was cute. We then are in the bus ride and they're talking about how Noella's not coming, but they want her to come in a sense. Like Gina did bring up a good point where she was like, if Noella is constantly saying she wants to be a part of this group and we're doing group activities, why not be a part of the group activities? And I was like, that is true. Noella is always harping on wanting to be a part of this group, but then she doesn't want to be a part of the group in the sense of being a part of the group. Like she kind of she ostracizes herself. Like Noella, this is my thing with Noella. Noella does things and are like, is it bad? Sometimes they are, and sometimes it's obnoxious and to the 10th degree, and it's dramatic. She's dramatic, but it's nowhere near as bad as they try to make it seem, in my opinion. So while they're on the bus, Emily is getting increasingly annoyed with Jen, which Emily ain't been my favorite this season, but I chuckled. She was like, Jen just repeats everything Heather says, and they did a montage. So production was shady AF for doing that montage, because they basically was like, whatever Heather says, Jen repeats, and they showed it when they were in Mexico, where she was like, when Heather was like, I don't want to be involved in this, and she was like, I don't want to get involved either. Then they did the like when Heather brought up that their kids were going back to school, and she was like, yeah, my kids are going back to school too. Like yeah, they're going back to school. And then when the night before, when Heather was like, no, unacceptable, and just said no. And I said, she does mimic what Heather says. She really does mimic, like she says the things. She does mimic that lady. She just does. The scene is Noella. She had just gotten like an email confirming that like her divorce was like ready to be finalized. So she just like overwhelmed and she can't take it. So she goes to this brook and she has like this visceral like meltdown. At first I thought it was fake. I ain't even about to lie. But I do think it was real. She turned red in the face and she just kept screaming. And I honestly think that like sis is just, she tired. She just wants to like take a break. And I think it's also hurting her that this chapter of her life is closing with Sweet James, because they were together for 6 years, and maybe she thought they would be there together longer, because it does seem like she was very blindsided by this divorce as of like in its entirety. So the other women decided to do archery. Like I said, Noella didn't go with them. They had a good time. Emily somehow got like a huge bruise on her shoulder, like on her arm, I mean. But she was the best at it. We end up seeing Shannon, Jen, and Heather going like this nature walk, and they bring up Emily. And they just talk about how like Shannon basically is like, I'm sick of her meddling and like stirring the pot. And she was like, I thought me and Emily were good. Like we had so much fun in Mexico. We always have a good time. But she was like, she's always running back to tell Gina information. And then she wounds everything up and just lets it, there it go. So then Heather is like, well, she, in her confessional, was like, she could see where Shannon's coming from, where like, it does look like she's stirring the pot, but you could also say she's telling the truth or being a truth teller. And I'm like, Heather, that's a load of crap. You know that lady stirring the pot between all of y'all. She in there. She's stirring it. So Shannon's like, when I get a chance, I'm going to talk to her. Just like I'm going to talk to Gina, but like I'd rather talk to Emily right now. So we also see Gina and Emily pick up Noella. They're going to this little coal mining thing. It was such an awkward car ride. Like you could tell that they don't, the two of them don't really like Noella. Like Emily and Gina don't really like Noella. They wanted to be cool with Noella, but Noella has done things that is just like, it's very off-putting for them, which I understand that. But what bothered me is them constantly saying like they don't want to hear about her dad dying. And it's like, I understand if you don't want to hear it, but the man just died like 3 days ago. Listen to what the girl got to say. Let her vent her frustrations. Let her get it out. Like, you can hold space for her for like 20 minutes and just listen to the lady. And I just feel like Gina legitimately reminds me of like those like quirky, nerdy girl to like prom queen tropes, where the cool popular kids end up picking like one of them random like weird little nerd kids, or the school outcast, and they decide to dress her up, do a full body makeup, like glam all over, and then she starts to feel herself, or he starts to feel themselves, and then turns into a complete asshole and starts to treat the people that they were cool with dirty. She gives very much that. Like ever since she clicked up with Heather, Gina been smelling herself, as my parents would say, And it's like, you're not that. You will never be that. You are too basic to be a Heather Dubrow. Like, Gina needs to get that in her skull. Like, since the way that you are so enamored with like a chef and with people, like with house and staff services, it's like, bitch, you ain't never been nowhere. Because I've been on several like vacations where like we booked places and that's been there. Like, we've had people come and check up on us or be like, can we get, like, we had those things, and Gina acts like she's never had that. And then it's just like, you're basic. You're bad. That's why I told y'all she is she the lowest tier housewife, because she's just like, oh, she's annoying. And the bad thing is, like, I used to really like her. Like, when she first stepped on the scene, I thought she was fun. I vibed with Gina. But then as the seasons have progressed, Gina is just, she's gross. And I think it's because you can always tell that Gina is an opportunist, and she's someone, is like, she tries to latch on to people. She did that with Vicky and Tamra. She did that with Shannon. Once like Vicky and Tamra were going, and now she's doing that with Heather. And it's like, it's annoying at this point. So everyone gets back from their little excursions, and Shannon pulls Emily to the side, and she like, girl, what's up between me and you? I thought we were good, but you keep stirring the pot between me and Emily, and I'm getting tired of it. And Emily's like, well, you know, me and her are so close, so I feel like I need to tell her these things because I would want her to tell me these things. And Shannon's like, I understand that, but what you're doing is you're messing up the relationship me and you have, and I enjoy being friends with you. And they apologize to each other. I thought it was kind of weird because it's just like, Gina and Emily like begged Shannon to be their friend. But the moment Heather gets there, we don't like her. Shannon's difficult. Shannon's a hater. Shannon's jealous. It's like, y'all never really wanted to be her friend then, if it's so easy for y'all to like throw her to the wayside once the new big fish comes into the pond. Like, I just thought that was wild. After Emily and Shannon have their conversation, is Emily, Gina, and Heather laying in the bed, and they're just talking. And Heather's basically telling them, if anyone tries to start with the three of us, we'll all shut it down. And I don't like that stuff because it gives very like cliquish alliance. And I'm like, y'all are grown women. If you don't want to talk about something, if you want to shut something down, then shut it down yourself or disengage. Shout out to Miss Meredith and go somewhere else. Like, it's just like, why do you need the group to help you disengage or to help you shut something down? So then Emily explains to them how, like, you know, Shannon and I are good. She apologized. And then Emily gets mad because she's like, so she can apologize to you, but like, she won't take accountability with me. And she was like, that's my thing with Shannon. Shannon won't take accountability, and then it triggers me, and then I end up saying things that I don't want to say. No, you're saying the things you want to say, but you don't have the vagina to say it. That's the issue, Gina. You say these mean, malicious things and hurtful things to Shannon, and then you act like Shannon isn't supposed to be hurt by them. And it's like, it's mind-boggling that she thinks she can say certain things to people and then them not have a rebuttal or a response to her that is just as nasty back. Like, ain't nobody about to sit here and let you whole basic ass beat up on them. Like, honestly, y'all, if we're being all the way 100, Gina should not be on Real Housewives of Orange County. Like, after last season, she should have been gone. Like, she don't fit the vibe. She don't fit the energy. I want the lady off my TV and out the group. Get out of my group. I'm sick of her. I'm sick of this lady. So they're all getting ready. And they're like, you know, gonna have like bluegrass players. They play. Emily and Shannon decide to dress in the most ugliest bear costumes I've ever seen. Shannon has like the actual sound of bears like roaring, which I was like, that is not safe in and of itself, because you act like people won't just shoot bears when they see them, but you could clearly tell that it was them. Excuse me. It looks like if Jen stays, Emily and Jen are gonna have beef. because Jen was getting on Emily's nerves. So before Emily and Shannon like decided to get in their bear costumes, this bluegrass band comes, they're playing, and Shannon's like, ooh, I gotta go to the bathroom. So she gets up and goes to the bathroom. And then Emily waits a few seconds and she's like, ooh, I gotta go to the bathroom. And then Jen is like, tells Emily, well, no, sit down, wait until she gets out the bathroom and then you can go. Like, be respectful. And I was with Emily, like, I'm not holding my pee. Like, if I was like, we're in it, like, they're in our backyard. I'm going to the bathroom. It's like 6 of you. It's 4 or 5 of you here. Y'all are enjoying the music. Enjoy the music while I go pee. Like, and Emily said she wanted to smack her in the back of the head because she was like, Jen is getting on her nerves. So, like I said, the bear costumes were ugly. The ladies thought it was funny. They thought it was cute, and they had a good kiki. You can tell Gina is drunk off her, you know what, and we understand why sis got a DUI, because she's drunk. She's talking out her behind. She asks, what's her name, Noella, about her divorce, and Noella explained to them that she got the papers, and she was like, oh, that's the quickest divorce ever. And Noella is peeping. She was like, I know this Gina. Gina gets drunk and then she gets out of control. So Gina's drunk and she's low-key starting to get out of control. So then they go and sit down to have dinner. Everyone's having a good time. They're all like laughing. They're asking each other about like what their first job was. Gina says she was like a boat. Like she worked at like, I guess she was like a receptionist at some boating place. And then Noelle was like, oh, I was a model in one of Will Smith's video. And Gina chimes in about her friend Tatiana, whatever, the lady that was on their last episode, who legit, I was like, who's she talking about? Because that's what Noella said. Noelle was like, who is that? And she was like, you don't know who Tatiana is? And I'm like, no one knows who that lady is. That's why she asked you who she was, stupid. And she was like, my friend that we had, like, so Tatiana is the brunette lady that that Gina had her like line event, I guess, party at. So like Gina feels some type of way that Noella doesn't remember who Tatiana is, and like she's taking it very like she's like being passive aggressive now, because then everyone at the table is like, because Gina is drunk and Gina calls Tatiana Tati, and then they all started talking about, oh, they hate when people abbreviate their name. So everyone's like, ooh, I don't like that. I don't like this when people do this. I don't like when people do that. And everybody else is just like laughing. Like nobody's really bothered by it. And then Gina's still very much like upset, and Noella was like, Noella basically was like, girl, you doing a lot. Like, I think you're overreacting. And Gina was like, I overreact, especially when it's about people that I love. And it's like, you tripping. Because she was legitimately tripping. Like, okay, she didn't know the lady. And even if they had a conversation like 2 or 3 days ago at the house, that doesn't mean she remembers what her name is. She remembered once you said like, oh, because Gina brung up Tatiana, because when Noella said that, oh, she was a model in Will Smith's video, she was like, oh, that's like Tatiana's kids, I guess. So the lady's kids model as well. And it was just awkward. It was awkward and it was stupid. And you could tell Gina was drunk. So then Shannon tries to chime in. And Shannon was like, oh, I think, what did Shannon say? Shannon said, oh, I didn't know that. She said she didn't know the girl's name, or she didn't know her like that, even though she's known who she is for years. Oh, Shannon would say that she didn't know that was her nickname, that Tati was her nickname. And Gina was like, that says a lot that you don't know about the people that are important in my life. And I was like, oh, so you're drunk, because you're making a situation that's not even a situation. So then she gets mad. Emily even says she tripping. So then Gina's drunk talking about, okay, so nobody cares about me. I said, oh, I could not be around Gina. I could not be around Gina if I was drinking, because I would cuss her out. I know that for a fact, because then I'd be mad that you was blowing my buzz with this stupidity right here. Because I like, it didn't make sense why she was so angry with her. So Shannon is like, girl, what? So everybody like breaks off from the table. So you have Jen, Gina, Emily, and Heather upstairs, and then Shannon and Noella are downstairs. And Shannon is basically comforting Noella, trying to tell her it's okay, it's gonna be okay. I'm sorry that you're going through all of this, but things will get better. Like, don't worry, it will get better. And like, she's breaking down. The part about this situation that I thought was real stupid on Noella's part was when she was like, I came here to grieve. Ma'am, why would you come to a group trip, aka a cash trip, where you know it's going to be cattiness and fighting, and you are one of the main catalysts for fighting, where you thought you could grieve your daddy's death in peace? That was stupid on her part. That was so stupid on her part. But I was happy that Shannon was still there to, like, you know, hug on the girl because she needed it. The lady needed a hug. Gina's still upstairs in the kitchen, angry about her friend Tati. I thought it was interesting. The guy who wrote that book, Not All Diamonds and Rosé, he actually put on Twitter, he said this. He said it didn't make the book, but Tatiana is actually the one who recommended Gina for the show. Tatiana was auditioning to be a housewife in season 13. The network wanted to bring a dynamic duo, so they suggested Friends. They fell in love with Gina, but Tati wasn't, what's it called? No, she didn't call her Tati. She called her Tot. Stupid. Tot wasn't the right fit. So here's my thing. All this energy Gina is giving to this lady, and I get it, like, she put you on because we know you ain't had no money before you got put on. But I'm over Gina. I'm over Gina. So Shannon goes upstairs, and Shannon is trying to tell the ladies, like, y'all give her a break. Like, please just give her a break. Like, her daddy just passed away. And like, she just needs a moment. Like, just give her a break. And then this is when Gina says, I don't care if her dad dies. Clearly drunk. Like, we've all been through things. And then Shannon was like, you don't remember being at your lowest point? And then Gina's like, well, I've never was mean to anybody. And I'm like, you're doing it now. You're doing it now. So it's just, and then Gina in her talking head was like, Shannon's only defending Noella, so in 3 years she can tell her when they're in a fight, you see what I did? I protected you when everybody was coming at you. And I was like, Gina, what is your issue with this lady? Like, honestly, at first I kind of saw what Gina was talking about, but now it just feels like Gina is like pulling things out her ass to like be mad at Shannon and to be mad at Noella. Like, well, no, mainly Shannon. With Noella, it's understandable because Noella has said things, and Noella has made like gestures and comments that are off-putting to Gina, so it's understandable. But with Shannon ain't really done nothing to you. You just jumped ship the moment you got in good with Heather, and it shows. And you just like, I don't understand what she's trying to make Shannon understand. Like, she's like, Shannon's not supportive, but I'm like, are you supportive of Shannon? I don't know. I'm happy the season finale is next Wednesday, and I'm ready for this reunion. And I hope at the reunion Shannon stays on Gina's neck. I hope she cut her deep. I hope she gathers that girl, because the thing about it is, I would totally be on Gina's side if Shannon did something egregious, or if Shannon really was showing signs of hateration in the dancery, but she's not. She hasn't done anything like that. Like, it's like Gina wants Shannon to be jealous. She wants Shannon to have these issues. And at first I thought, okay, maybe this was trying to be like a storyline, but it doesn't seem like a storyline. It really does seem like Gina wants there to be a problem where there is none. And I'm tired of this lady. I'm tired of this back and forth, and I just want it to go away. Go away. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic. Drop down in the comments below and let me know your thoughts. I'm ready for Walmart Gina to go. Yeah, this is my thoughts right now. Bye, y'all. Deuces.